Hey guys, here's a battle versus lilaznrat1 of GameFAQs, and he leads with Starmie, I lead with him on top. I'm gonna use Fake Out, of course, and his Starmie flinches, and I really don't have a move that can damage Starmie because it resists both Mach and Bullet Punch, so I go into Celebi predicting the Psychic or the Surf, and he Psychics, which is good because I resist that. So right here I'm gonna predict the switch, and I'm just gonna use Leech Seed. And he switches into Tyranitar, and as I Leech Seed, and the Leech from Leech Seed helps Celebi recover a decent amount of damage. And right here, I'm predicting a Dark move, so I'm gonna go into Hitmontop, and he crunches, which doesn't do that much damage to Hitmontop because he's bulky. And right here, I can't really afford to overpredict, so I just go for the Mach Punch, which would easily KO Tyranitar. But he goes into Zapdos, and that's just a little bit problematic because this team really doesn't have a solid way of dealing with Zapdos. So I'm going to predict a Thunderbolt and go into Swampert, but he actually roosts here, and that's okay because he didn't get the full effect of that roost, but it would have been better if he Thunderbolts. And now I try to set up the Stealth Rocks, but this Zapdos actually has a hidden power Grass, which is annoying as hell. And I see the Life Orb here, so it lets me know this is a Sweeper Zapdos. It's not one of those bulky ones, so that's going to make it slightly easier to take down. So now I go into Heatran, and I use Fire Blast not to overpredict. I was really expecting a switch into Tyranitar, but if he stayed in, Earth Power really wouldn't have done anything. So it's a good thing that I didn't overpredict here, and combined with Sandstorm and Life Orb, that Fire Blast takes out Zapdos. So he goes into Starmie again, and I'm gonna go into Celebi again, and he Surfs again, and that doesn't do anything. So I'm gonna use Leech Seed again, and obviously predicting a switch into Tyranitar. And I see Tyranitar, I recover HP again, so I'm wearing this Tyranitar down little by little. And I'm going to switch into Hitmontop again to take the crunch. And what really sucks is he gets a crit right here. It doesn't KO Hitmontop, but because of Life Orb, that really limits what Hitmontop can do. So right here, I'm going to predict the switch, and his number one Hitmontop counter, Zapdos, has been taken out, so I'm just going to go with Close Combat. And that brings this Aerodactyl down to 1 HP, but he has a Focus Sash. And it really sucks that I didn't get to set up Stealth Rock, because this basically would have been a free kill for me. But I have the Mach Punch, and that's going to take out Aerodactyl. Now, unfortunately, because of Life Orb, I get taken down. So that's when that Tyranitar's crit really affected me. But I go into Infernape, and he goes in his own Infernape. And my Infernape's Scarfed, so I'll almost definitely go first, unless his is Scarfed too. And I go for the U-turn, because if he uses Close Combat, I can switch into something to resist that. And if he switches out like he did now, then I'll be able to send in the counter. And he goes into Tyranitar. And I go into Heatran, because that's really the best thing I have to deal with Tyranitar now. And I use Earth Power hoping that it will KO. But unfortunately, it falls just short, and Heatran will be able to KO me with Earthquake, which really sucks. But at least this Tyranitar is now definitely weak enough to be taken down by just about anything. So right here, I go back to Infernape, and not to overpredict, I go for Close Combat, and Close Combat takes it out. So right here, he goes into Starmie, and I'm gonna switch into Celebi again, and he uses Surf. And what's interesting is that this Starmie actually carries the Shell Bell, which is sort of interesting, but Starmie really doesn't have that much HP, so I can see it working. Because if you manage to do a ton of damage to something, you'll get more healed on leftovers. And he uses Thunderbolt, which is interesting. So from the looks of it, the Starmie doesn't have Ice Beam, which is awesome because Celebi will pretty much be able to wall it entirely. And I don't bother to Leech Seed because his remaining Pokemon is Infernape and one that I haven't seen. And I'm thinking that his last Pokemon isn't a good Celebi counter because he hasn't switched into it yet. So I can just stall this Starmie out and Psychic to damage it. Because Psychic's the only damaging move on my Celebi, unless you count Leech Seed. But anyway, he keeps trying to take me down with Futility, and I keep using Psychic. And another reason why I keep using Psychic is so he can't like sneak that Infernape in, because that could really ruin my Celebi. But here I go into he goes into Infernape, and I really don't have a safe switch, and I'm hoping he won't be able to KO me, so I just go for the Psychic. And fortunately, his Infernape carries Flamethrower. If that was a Fire Blast, it would have almost definitely been a KO. But because it's Flamethrower, I'm safe, and I can KO with Psychic. And his last Pokemon's a Breloom, which Celebi is actually able to outspeed, which I think is a bit surprising because I have no speed EV investment in the Celebi. But that's a great game, lilaznrat1. Remember, guys, to rate, comment, and subscribe, and peace, guys.